Well done, Smita.
Yeah.
How did that feel? Rather than giving your time and knowledge away for free, putting it into a package and charging for it.
Yeah, I think it was, it felt good. It was like assured that I should just never ever offer any free advice anymore.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they didn't even come back and negotiate or anything. They were like, no, this, yes, let's do it. So yeah. So
how much did you?
What's that?
How much did you charge for the LCC?
So I charged $195 per hour.
Okay. Oh, it was per hour base. Okay.
And then I told them the first will be 10 hours, 10 to 12 hours. But then if they're going to succeed, if they're going to exceed, and if they want more of my time, I'll just charge them per hour basis.
Great. So a couple of thousand.
Mm-hmm.
Couple of $1,000 for stuff you might have done some of it for free in the past.
Correct.
Perfect. You almost seem surprised that they didn't negotiate, but my experience is they usually don't if they have confidence in you.
Yeah.
And they want, it seems like a good idea to go and do research first. Spending a couple of thousand seems a much better idea than spending I don't know, 50,000 or 20,000 or 100,000 on design without, when we're still kind of trying to work things out and get our own head around what we need. 2,000 is a nice little stepping stone for them.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah. And I've never met them. So it's also a good way for us to connect because they told me that they're not going to do the renovation this year because everything is super expensive in the Chicago market. The labor is very tough. So they are looking to just purchase this unit, and hopefully when things cool off a little bit, they will do the design work next year. So there will be so like your steps, this will be, instead of just meeting and submitting a proposal, this is another small step for relationship building. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it's great. And if I just to draw this out for people, if we've got an access here, if this is time, and this is, I guess you could say, commitment, which could be dollars, or it could be committing to final things. Obviously, people like to, they like to do things gradually in terms of commitment and time, and same with relationships, right? We like to take small steps. So, the first small step we get them to take is monkey's fist, and that's free, so that's fine. And then we look to have an Ask the Expert meeting, which is a bit scarier because you have to talk to a professional, so it's a little bit scarier, but that's the next step. And then from there we move them into here's the paid line. The paid line traditionally for an architect is let's get into design. And then, so that's a big, scary step. And then you've got construction, which is even bigger. Oops. And so what we're doing is we're moving this line, which is the money line. And at this stage, what we're doing here is asking for a lot of money. We're moving the line back to here. But it's only a much smaller step. It's an LCC. So, while the money's coming in earlier, it's a much smaller amount than what it would be here, not drawn to scale, obviously. And it seems it's very easy for someone to come along and go, to jump up here, and then from there to there, it's yours to lose. Once you've got the money for the LCC, it seems to be yours to lose. But to get someone to jump, normally to get someone to jump all the way up to here, that's a big jump. And that's why the LCC and these other little steps work so well, is they're just really, going on a first date, second date, third date, before you lean in for the kiss. They kind of feel they know you and they like you and they trust you. It's not as creepy as trying to jump them all the way up to here. It is a good analogy because it is kind of like that. So it does work, and you know, it's when you look at it like this, you go, well, common sense. Of course, it works. You know, why wouldn't it work? This is how we like to build relationships. We like to build small escalating steps. So the LCC, you know, having this process in place as your, I guess, as your sales process, is much more of a natural process for the client to go through than jumping all the way up to here. They're not kangaroos. They can't jump. A lot of them don't want to jump that high and that fast when they've really, in this phase here, they've still got a lot of question marks, right? And so, you know, particularly this step here is perfect for answering a lot of those questions. They don't want to jump all the way up to here when they've still got a lot of doubts and worries and concerns and all that type of stuff. Anyway, I'm teaching you stuff you guys already know. Any thoughts or comments from anyone else just on that, let's say, that sales process that we tend to take people through? Any other comments or thoughts? Oh, looks like Cinda had a massive win this week, she said. She's teasing us by telling it. But she's gonna share it on Thursday. Okay, cool. Sounds like. Has anyone got any questions on that before I go? Because this is so important. You know, this is kind of a big breakthrough for a lot of people. That, I mean, this does work. This does work. Okay. Right. Ben says we had a couple come to me through House, which hasn't been a super successful platform for me to date. Had to fill out the questionnaire, got on a quick 30-minute call with them to outline the process and how I can help them select land. Sounds like an LCC. Before I even had the chance to break it all down for me, they asked if they needed to get a full-blown contract with me. Okay, I said no. I wouldn't even do that if you wanted me to. Nice. Instead, I offered up a land appraisal LCC. They were so relieved to hear this. See, clients don't want to do the big jump. Since then, we've been in contact about their process, and they've made it clear that when they find a property they like, they'll call me right away. I actually gave them 2 LCC options: 1, an hourly walk the land meeting, and 2, a true site and code analysis LCC. So even breaking it down a little further for them, that's really good. So that's a good idea to break up, you know, possible LCC services into smaller bite-sized chunks as well. So brilliant, Ben.
The thinking here was that they kind of, because they don't even own land yet, they're not ready, or because they're not even really quite ready to pick a piece of land. They weren't ready. There was nothing to analyze. There's no LCC to be done. Yep. And so, you know, thinking on my feet, I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll go kind of pre-LCC, a mini one where it's like, hey, at an hourly rate, I can come out, walk the land with you, talk about, you know, what I see right there on the spot, and at least get some engagement. And, you know, like you say, kind of get them to sort of even pay me a couple bucks so that, you know, suddenly I'm their architect. And so that seems to be working really well. Really grateful for that process.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, fantastic news. Oops. Okay. That's great. So walk the land, or just time, and then go away. And so what you have? Yeah, the first one was just walk the land, right? And
and then the second one is if they go into, I basically said, I'll walk the land with you pre-contract, and then if you get into contract and you've got your 30 or 60-day contingency period, then I'll do an LCC for you. You know, I didn't call it LCC, but I'll do a land appraisal for you where we'll analyze the code and look at the site and kind of do all that stuff while you're kind of the way you would do a building inspection if you were buying a building. But since you're just buying a piece of land, I'll do that piece as a, you know, second step.
This is so good, guys. You know, this is so good. What we're doing here now, and we're getting a little more. You know, we're getting a little more sophisticated and clever with the way we do it too. You know, even breaking the LCC up is another level of cleverness. If you compare it, you know, and as Ben said, the couple, when they were talking to him early on, they mentioned, you know, do we have, you know, they think, do we have to jump? It's exactly that question. Do we have to jump all the way from, you know, that first chat? I suppose they're here. Do we have to jump all the way up to here? And Ben was able to say, no, I have these things in here. And they're like really relieved because, you know, they're not ready. They're not ready, but this will get them ready, and this will give Ben a chance to build rapport. It'll give them a chance to get to know and like Ben, and also it'll give Ben a chance to see if he wants their project. You know, he may, after doing the LCCs, think, I don't want this, or I don't want them, and it gives Ben a chance to gracefully exit if he says, look, here's the work, I've done it all for you. Here's the site and code analysis, but I don't think I'm the best person for you, or I'm fully booked at this point now. I'm fully booked, but I can recommend you to a colleague. So it gives him a chance to get out if he wants to. So that's really cool. This is good stuff, guys. This is good stuff. Makes a big difference, and it just, you know, it helps you win a client. I mean, you don't win the project, but you win the client by getting them on one of these steps here, right? And once you're in here, you are considered their accountant. Not their accountant. You are their architect or interior designer or designer. You know, you are. That they look at you as their trusted resource now, and it's you know, it's yours to lose that next step if they go ahead. So, right. Okay. So Chris DeMarco had a light bulb moment talking with Master Ramsey last week about using the LCC payment as a deposit for the design stage. Are you saying they get a rebate on their design if they go ahead, Chris?
Well, that was my thought process until I talked to Adrian.
Yeah.
I had this idea that, look, I believe that I personally was looking at it and I was thinking to myself, if it was me, I would use, so if I was going to a client, if someone did it for me and they did an LCC and they gave me the choice, they said, all right, you can either use the money we've got as a deposit for the next stage, or you can go elsewhere, but you have to start again. And I was thinking through that, and the logic was to me that, you know, I don't know, it would carry more water doing that. Anyway, I was talking to Adrian about it, and then I realized that, well, talking through it with Adrian, I don't want tight asses like me. I don't want someone who's no, and that's I didn't realize that the whole time. I went, holy shit, I don't want someone like me. I want someone who doesn't care about
terrible client.
Oh, I'd be an awful client. That's what I said to him. I said, oh my God, I just realized I didn't click. And now I realize no way in the world I'm giving a deposit. I'm not giving that money back. I'm just like, no.
No, good.
Yeah.